Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the best television show not on TV. This is the Parlay. I am the Beard. Backstage is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Awthentik. It is week 12. There is a lot on the line. We are getting down to the wire for playoffs. This is a must-win week. We got a lot of teams on buys. There's going to be some plug and plays that you're going to have to do that you probably don't want to do, that you would never do, but in order to possibly win, you got to do. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the second half of the do, Mr. Awthentik. Come on in, bud.
What's good, man? No myth, no legend. Just the realest one out there. You know what I'm saying?
Awthentik is the man. Let me tell you. I listen.
I feel like it's cap. I feel like we're overhyping who I am.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because I know you, and I'm just like, I don't think these people really understand. I mean, this guy, he's all over the place. I mean, I just want to know what your private jet bill is like. I mean, you're at college football games. You're playing quarterback.
Pockets live on
you're playing quarterback for the Packers. Yep. You're on Bleacher Report, and you're doing the parlay here with Awthentik and the Beard.
Most importantly, over here on the parlay with my dog one time, man. But yeah, it was a pretty busy weekend. It was a little bit cold out there at the Maryland game. They ended up taking a big L. Last home game of the season, too, man. It was a little bit of bittersweet. Not going to see these folks for a good fiscal year here, it's looking like. But definitely was a good time. I'm a little under the weather, man. It's tough filming out there in those conditions, man. These guys running around playing football. I'm out there with a big jacket, gloves, hat, just trying to get the good shot. You know what I mean?
It's not easy, man. It's just, and there's a lot going on, and then you got the weather. It's tough, man. It's very tough. And listen, it's speaking of tough, there's a lot of bye weeks this week. And then I think week 14 is also pretty brutal as far as bye weeks go. And then this upcoming week, you got a lot of weird games. You got Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
How about
maybe
that
even
last
Saturday.
Thursday night game though, man? The Snow Bowl with the Browns, and you didn't you pick the Browns on the show? No, you didn't. You didn't have the guts to do that.
Have the guts to do it.
Yeah, neither did I. But that was a big win, man. Jameis Winston is my favorite football player on the planet.
He's my spirit animal.
Yeah, he's that guy. He's just a good dude.
The slow motion of the touchdown run, it's fantastic.
Black John Elway. Loved it. Loved it, man.
That's good.
And his speeches, man, and then like after the game doing snow angels with the whole panel and whatnot. That dude, man, you can tell that he's very grateful for like every day. Wake up, be grateful for what you got, man. And Jameis Winston, he's in one of the best positions you could possibly be in, being in the NFL, but not necessarily as a backup quarterback, but when you go out there like that, man, Jameis is definitely taking advantage of his opportunities.
I mean, I think sometimes like people forget, like, yeah, you got to be like, you know, it's a war, it's a battle. It's, you know, you got to be that certain level of intensity. But sometimes like, and this is why I really like Jaden Daniels too. Sometimes you got to remember to have fun because when you play football a certain way, if you play it like that, like, magic happens, you know what I'm saying? And like,
Absolutely.
that's just, it's a good reminder of, you know, especially when there's a lot going on with, you know, your teams. If you're a Giants fan, if you're a Cowboys fan, you know, like look at the Browns fans, bro. It was like 20 degrees, blizzard conditions. They're 2-8 on a Thursday night, and there's not an empty seat in the house.
Those are my kind of vibes, man. You know, I like that football weather. I'm not one of them people that like to go out to a game and it's all sunny and 70 out there. That's not my vibes, man. But did you get a chance to hear his pregame speech?
Oh, yeah.
He said, it's not about the lights. It's not about the cameras. It's not about the action. It's about the action. Our action. You know he fucked up right there, right? I love Jameis.
He says something about the horses too when I interviewed him before he got in the field. Listen, if Jameis Winston is played in a like primetime game, they're gonna get you the pregame speech, the on the field pregame speech, the warm up speech, the after the game speech, the visit the set speech, the locker room
all of
speech.
Them. Literally, they made like a montage of all his speeches, and I got to give him his props too for helping my New York Giants get closer to the number 1 draft pick that we need to get our quarterback. And both those quarterbacks looking pretty good this past weekend, man. Shador Sanders, even though they didn't win, put up a pretty decent game. And then
Dirty hit.
Cam Ward, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, looking good out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are downplaying the quarterbacks now after this week, especially with the way you throw in Milroe, too, and the way they played. I will tell you, though.
Yeah, had a bad game, too.
Notre Dame, another W. Might be the best defense in the nation. They've outscored their opponents like 600 to 98 in the last 9 games during this winning streak. So
y'all beat
Army. Undefeated Army. It was at Yankee
Stadium. Don't size that undefeated Army.
I mean, they were ranked number 19 in the country, man.
I don't want to hear it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to get your questions in the chat. We will be answering all of your questions throughout this entire live stream. We're also going to give you guys some sleepers for Week 12. Because, like I said, there's going to be a lot of holes to fill in your lineups due to some of these bye weeks. And then also we'll give you some guys that you probably should sit on the bench if you have the luxury given the bye weeks. And then at the end, we're going to go rapid fire. We're going to pick every single game, the overs, the unders, against the spreads. Should be a lot of fun. Before we go into these first couple of questions, big shout out to Gregory. I think I need to double down on Gregory Love.
Absolutely.
The guy is he's a machine. He's putting in our picks at the end in the comment section of the parlays. So big shout out to Greg. We appreciate the love and the support. Shows up at every show, comments all the time. Cowboys fan, huge supporter of what we do here at Awthentik and the Beard. So much love to Gregory. Everybody in the chat, show Gregory some love. He's holding us down. So we got a couple of questions we're going to get to first before we get to the sleeper and sit sections. Big shout out to Juan Pena Jr. Says, "Que pasa, papi chulos? Bing bong, bong bong."
Oh man, we got to deal with this for another episode.
Who for my wide receiver 2 and flex? He's already got Justin Jefferson in wide receiver 1. That's your bing and your bong. And on the bench, he's got Jawan Jennings, Ramondre Stevenson, Josh Downs, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Westbrook,
Akine.
We had a nice little discussion about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jacoby Myers. His tight end is George Kittle. So we got to pick 2 of these guys, basically.
You hit on that Jennings sleeper last week. That was a good one. He put up like 20 points. A wide receiver and a flex. It's tough, man. For me, it's either going to be Jennings or Xavier Worthy. Definitely not Jacoby Myers. Definitely not Jacoby Myers. I'm leaning away from Josh Downs. I don't trust Anthony Richardson much.
It's tough. We got Brandon Allen playing quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers this week.
Yeah, that's going to be real tough. But he has came in and played some decent backup, quarterback in his past.
3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very Cooper Rush-esque.
Yep. What you thinking?
Well, I want to say Westbrook just to double down on future endeavors here on the parlay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Ramondre Stevenson. Worthy is an interesting play because that matchup today against Carolina, the problem is he's so boom or bust. You know what I'm saying? And I think you could almost put Ricky Pearsall in that same sort of category. Probably Westbrook as well. It's 3 guys that could possibly. You guys actually have a lot of those guys. I think Jawan Jennings is the most stable of the bunch, right?
Just
like
worried.
Consistency,
Worried about the quarterback.
But worried about the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Jawan Jennings, and I'm gonna go Josh Downs because I think the Colts are going to be down a lot in this game, and I think they're going to force to be passing the ball. So I'm gonna go Josh Downs and Jawan Jennings.
I can't do that. Just 2 guys that are running with quarterbacks that are kind of struggling. Come on. It's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Carolina Panthers. They could possibly score 21 points in the first quarter. I got to put Xavier Worthy in that mix there somehow, just without – those guys are playing with tough quarterbacks. And what are the odds that Jawan Jennings comes out and puts up over 20 again?
Very, very slim to none, but –
Yeah. And then Westbrook Akine, we're gonna talk about him, but huge game last week. So what are the odds that he does that again? He did it on minimal targets last week too.
So where are we at then?
I'm going with Xavier Worthy 100% in this mix. And
Not mad at it.
just being that there's like issues at the quarterback position, I would consider Ramondre Stevenson. I really would. He's a starting running back. Those are my two choices. I'm not trusting Ricky Pearsall. He's only played a couple of games, and then you don't have Brock Purdy there. I'm not trusting him. If it's not Ramondre Stevenson, give me Westbrook Akine.
And big shout out to Juan Pena Jr. Doubling down here. So should I drop anybody on my bench for these three guys, Worthy, Westbrook, and Pearsall? His bench is Jacoby Myers, Darnell Mooney, Tyreek Hill, Valdez Scantling, or Juwan Jennings.
I would consider Jacoby Myers because the quarterback play over there has not been good. And for me, it would probably be Xavier Worthy.
For Worthy.
Yeah, I mean, Westbrook Akine, you also can't trust the quarterback over there in Tennessee.
Now, my suggestion here is, depending on this is where you got to start looking at your league schedule, okay? So take a look at your playoff schedule. What week are you starting the playoffs? And if you need a must win, like you got to look at your bye weeks here in the last couple of weeks before we get to the playoffs, because you don't want to drop a guy necessarily and pick a guy up if that player is going to be on the bye. But if one of these guys are going to be on a bye and you need a roster spot for somebody else to plug in who's playing week 14, then you need to go ahead and make that move, because you're in a tight jam when it comes to this week 14. It's really going to be critical. Week 14, you have to be aware of the bye weeks, who's on the bye, because we're talking this is your last week of last week of the regular season, first week of the playoffs for fantasy football. So you kind of got to start thinking
to
ahead.
Add to that too, not even just the bye weeks. Like I would start playing scout. Like look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They got the Panthers. Then I would look at the other games that they have following that for 2 to 3 weeks down the line, because let's say you have a player that's going up against a juggernaut matchup for 2 out of the 3 weeks. That should be something to consider, at least what player you want to, be attached to for the future here. I think that's very important.
Very, very good points there. Hopefully that helps not just Juan, but everybody who's watching. Big shout out to Ubiquitously.
You be trying. You be trying. He tried, bro. Cheers.
Ubiquitously. Is that it? Did I get it that time?
It's pretty decent.
That's good. Good enough? Why don't
yeah,
you
it's good
say
enough.
It?
Why don't I say it?
Yeah.
Ubiquitously.
That's what I said.
All right. You see how you ain't getting no debate from me.
Checking in from Twitch says
ubiquitously.
Any tips? I'm trying to trade for a running back, but league is quiet. A lot of trade deadlines have come and gone, so at least you have that option. He's got Drake London, Mike Evans, Gary Terry, Cooper Kupp, Jennings, and Pickens. No wonder you're looking for a running back.
So if you were to use any of those players as some trade bait or value, who would it be? Who would you be willing to part ways with there?
Jennings, obviously, I think Jennings would be the first one, but he's probably not going to get you the return that you're looking for.
Yep.
I would say Jennings, Terry McLaurin, and George Pickens.
But you would trade George Pickens right now.
I mean, if let's replace Pickens with London.
Yeah, I'm definitely trading London before Pickens, but I probably wouldn't trade London either.
Well, you need a running back, and you still can trade.
Exactly, but there's still Terry McLaurin there, Cooper Kupp there. I mean, you could think about those guys. I wouldn't trade Cooper Kupp, I don't think, but I think Terry McLaurin's probably the guy that I would consider trading. Him and Juwan Jennings. But I'm absolutely not trading. George Pickens is like third in yards right now in the NFL. Why would I trade him?
Well, I'm thinking that this guy ubiquitously doesn't have any running backs, but
he's saying that. But I'm just saying
he says he has Saquon Barkley and Jonathan Taylor.
Well, that makes things even more tough. Jonathan Taylor's kind of been on a little inconsistent run here.
He said he tried to make some moves with a few people. He tried Jennings for Bucky Irving and nothing. Also tried Mike Evans and Jennings. Williams.
I wonder what the league format is, because if you just need a spot for one flex, I don't think you desperately need a running back there when you got Saquon and Jonathan Taylor. Saquon's already had his bye.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jonathan Taylor, but Saquon's already had to buy. So, I mean, in reality, you're only going to need a running back. Maybe that is what it is. Maybe it's Jonathan Taylor who needs to replace in one of these weeks coming.
ahead.
Mhm.
Makes sense. Big shout out to C-Band's Never Stay Lacking 45.
We really didn't give him much advice, but let me
didn't.
round him off and give him off some little bit of advice here. If you're going to trade one of those wide receivers, make sure it's Juwan Jennings or possibly Terry McLaurin. Don't trade George Pickens right now. He's playing too well, and he's only played four games with Russell Wilson.
With Wilson, I think, yeah.
And man, his yards per game have just gone way up. He's been the number one target over there ever since. So I would avoid that.
And big shout out to C-Band's Never Stay Lacking 45. Says, morning, fellas. Do I go Kittle or Bowers?
I'm going Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is second in the NFL in receptions right now. I think he's got like over 80 or something. The only person that has more receptions than Brock Bowers was Jamar Chase, I want to say. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. There's no tight ends even near where Brock Bowers is as far as receptions go. So I'm going Brock Bowers.
I will also go Brock Bowers as well. Pick one wide receiver, Jamo Williams, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, DJ Moore.
Mike Evans ain't had a 100-yard game. Terry McLaurin's coming off his worst game of the year. Jamo's a big play guy. DJ Moore's been terrible. Yeah. Give me Mike Evans against Dallas. You think Terry could bounce back today?
It's very possible, but I expect a run heavy game from Washington. I like Mike Evans today. I think Mike Evans has a game.
Yeah, give me Mike or give me Terry. We'll go Terry. I can't. Jameson Williams just too much big play.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hit or miss situation there. Always definitely talked about that. No, Mike Evans was trending towards playing unless something changes when the injury report comes out here in the next 12 minutes or so, which I'm sure Marjorie will drop some Marge bombs in the chat.
He practiced all week.
Big shout out to Sarah, says Drake May or Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, he been playing really good football too, man. What's Drake May's matchup today? Drake May's going up against the Dolphins. Secondary's not that bad. Give me Kyler Murray. I think the floor is better.
I'm going to double down with you. I also like Kyler Murray. I think both of them will give you a good chunk of rushing on the ground. I think Drake May's running has kind of been undervalued in the fantasy world.
Drake May is on pace to be one of the only quarterbacks to average a certain amount of yards per game, and it's Mike Vick is the only quarterback that's averaged that many yards per game. Granted, Drake May hasn't played that many games, but no other quarterback has averaged that many yards per game since Mike Vick.
And big shout out to our guy, your guy, everybody's guy, Dorgunna. With a $5 super chat says, I don't care about the Cowboys injuries. I want to drop 50 on these clowns after last year. Just wish Dak was playing. Yeah, I was talking about this today. I said, listen, almost literally a year ago, Dallas was running up the score, jumping in Salvation Army barrels, and eating turkey legs in the middle of the game. Well, at the end of the game, it was fourth quarter, 9 minutes left. But after the game, they said, we wanted to do the celebration on the touchdown before, but we decided to wait because we knew we were going to score again. I was like,
good confidence right there.
So, yeah, I would love to see a 50 burger.
I wish Dak
today.
was playing today, too. If Dak was playing today, I would pick the Cowboys for the upset against you guys. I think y'all need more games against teams like the Dallas Cowboys when they're healthy, right? Which reminds me a bit of the Chicago Bears game where it's like those middling teams, those teams that aren't really good, they're not really great, but they can, on any given Sunday, beat a team that's, a average team or a good team like the Washington Commanders. But kind of makes this – I was talking to Mike Swan about it. Mike Swan's like, big game tomorrow. I'm like, you guys have nothing to win. If you lose this game, Bird's going to be chirping for sure.
Oh, yeah. A big shout out. I think this just might be my barber, Jimmy, checking in.
What's going on, dog?
Big Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah, he talking about J-Mo. That's absolutely Jimmy.
Yeah, so we definitely had some good conversations. I got an appointment to come see you, Bud, before Christmas. So big shout out to Jimmy, my barber, checking in the building. Checking in again from Twitch, Firefighter 1526, engine truck number. Lamar, Goff, or Stafford? PPR. Last week, I started Lamar over Goff, who went off for 57 fantasy points.
I had Stafford on the bench last week. Real tough. This week, though, I don't like Stafford's matchup as much going up against the Eagles. That secondary has been playing some really good football. Lamar, it's tough with Lamar, man. Like these teams, don't it feel like teams try to play their best game against Lamar Jackson?
Yes. I
Like
would agree.
they won't let him live. You know, you could walk into LA on any given day, Matthew Stafford. All right, man, whatever, man. Go ahead, put up 35 points. But Lamar is a little bit different. Detroit's going up against the Colts. I like the matchup for Jared Goff. So for me, it will be between Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, if you're basing it on matchups only, Lamar going up against the Chargers, really good defense, one of the best defenses. Stafford going against the Eagles, that secondary, that defense has been one of the best defenses. And I think you got to go Goff. I mean, your one thing that you're concerned about is a blowout, but are we really concerned about blowouts with the Detroit Lions when it comes to fantasy numbers anymore? Because I feel like even when they're blowing teams out, they're not letting up. They're going ham.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go Goff in this situation. Shout out to the thumbnail. You know?
Yeah, he was on the thumbnail this week. Yeah, I like Goff. I would consider Lamar just because, you know, the big play capability with the legs and it's Lamar. But even Stafford could, the one way I don't think you're in a bad situation here at all because you could pick any one of them. Even though the Eagles defense has been really good, the issue has been getting pressure on the quarterback. We talked about that on the last show. They're high up there as far as sacks go in the last couple of weeks, but they're just not getting that many pressures. So if you allow Stafford to be comfortable in the pocket, he's definitely going to be able to find a way to dice up that defense and put some points on the board. So I don't think you could go wrong either way. Go with your gut. We like Lamar. We like Goff.
Big shout out to Ray W. Says C.J. Stroud or Awthentik.
Go with Awthentik, bro. Absolutely go with Awthentik.
Gonna have to go with Awthentik in this one. Big shout out, Ray.
We'll talk about that in the next section. Are we starting with the sleepers or are we starting with the sit-ems?
We're gonna start with the sit-ems.
Good. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the next section. I want to get to
that. Big shout out to Chris Peace. Wants to know, do I start Awthentik or Matthew Stafford?
All right, now with this one, I might go Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I think I might go Matthew Stafford. Jordan Love has been a little bit inconsistent. 49ers defense is pretty damn good. Yeah, I think I'm going Matthew Stafford.
Big shout out to Operation Blue. I think this is an interesting one. It says, what's up, gentlemen? Bucky Irving or Kyron Williams?
Kyron has not gotten in the end zone a lot as of late. He has 8 rushing touchdowns on the year, but just hasn't been able to get in the end zone the last couple of weeks. Bucky, Giants rush defense is terrible.
You got White digging in your pocket, though. Kyron has nobody.
Kyron's going to have a big game. But Bucky Irving could have a legendary game today against the Giants. Ah, man. Give me Kyron.
I'm going to go Kyron as well. I love Bucky Irving. Don't get me wrong. And I plan on playing some Bucky on DraftKings today. But I can't. The Rachaad White situation just kills me. Kyron Williams, there's nobody else is snatching carries away from him, really. So, big shout out to Door Gunner with the $2 super chat. Says Dak needed to be here to take the beating.
Okay. Yeah, that would be nice. I like the confidence, Door Gunner. This is a stark difference from you Commanders over the past couple of years here, but the Dallas Cowboys are cooked, man. It's a wrap for them dudes.
Listen.
Just don't lose. Just
don't
lose.
What
was Al Davis? Just win, baby?
Yeah.
Just don't lose, motherfucker.
Just don't lose, baby. Big shout out, Door Gunner. We appreciate you. Big shout out to one of my favorite names on YouTube, which I haven't seen you in a while, but it's good to have you back. Mr. Duffelbag Doug.
Oh, yeah.
Says I'm in a 3-way tie for first place and hit 5 players on the bye this week.
The worst.
Do I start Romeo Doubs or Keenan Allen in my flex this week?
Don't matter, bro. Both them dudes have been underperforming. I'm going to keep it real with you. I've had Romeo Doubs in my starting lineup for like 4 straight weeks, man, and it has not been good. He'll have one of those random, just random games and watch it be today, but Keenan Allen, I mean, listen, I'm going with the better quarterback in this one. I'm going to go with Romeo Doubs.
I am also going to go with Romeo Doubs, and that has a lot to do with my feeling on the quarterback situation as well. And you know what? I know we got a bunch more questions in the chat, but we've hit a couple of questions here so far that we're going to be able to double down on in this next section. So I think we're going to go ahead and tell you guys who we are sitting on the bench this week, week 12 fantasy football, even though you probably already have 5 players on the bench from a bye week. These, you can probably throw them on the bench with the bye guys. This is our sit-ems for week 12. All right, Coach Awthentik, who is pulling up a seat on the pine this week, my friend.
All right, I got just two players this week. One of them is absolutely going to be wide receiver Jacoby Myers going up against the Broncos. Broncos secondary has just been on fire. Jacoby Myers, 6 targets for 28 yards last week. Just 2 games over 15 fantasy points all year. I hate to tell you this, Beard, but that Minshew magic.
You know, everybody's magic runs out eventually, all right?
The curtain has been opened up, and we can see his tricks.
Yeah.
And now we know it's actually not magic.
And
yeah, putting your boy Jacoby Myers on the bench. Yeah, I mean, that magic might be on the bench in real life coming up real soon, too. The other guy that I have to put on the bench, and it's been an interesting year for C.J. Stroud. I wouldn't necessarily call it a sophomore slump per se, but he just has not been playing that high-level football that we came accustomed to seeing from him in his rookie season. They're going up against Denard Wilson and them Titans today. That's going to be really tough. I saw some interesting stats about the Titans' pass defense, though, because they are up in the upper portion of the league as far as pass defense goes. But I saw something that said their special team statistics are some of the worst by a mile, and field position has a lot to do with why teams have not been able to put up a lot of passing yards on them is because they're able to get good field position on them. So they're having shorter distances to go, which is something, you know, we always talk about third down and how important first and second down are to third down. But when we talk about pass defense, we don't necessarily talk about field position that much. I thought it was interesting. Heard Mina Kimes talking about it. But C.J. Stroud, man, under 14 fantasy points in 5 straight games.
Wow.
Hasn't thrown multiple touchdowns in 5 straight games. Versus Dallas, for me, was the last straw that broke the camel's back because Dallas had allowed 5 straight games with quarterbacks to throw at least 2 passing touchdowns on them, and C.J. Stroud had 0 passing touchdowns in that game, and the Texans were blowing them out. A lot of that was on the shoulders of Joe Mixon. He did have 1 interception in that game. And C.J. Stroud has just 2 games over 20 points all year long. And I hate to do it because he's my starting quarterback, but seeing Matthew Stafford put up that 31 points last week, I put Matthew Stafford in the lineup this week. So for me, it's C.J. Stroud, it's Jacoby Myers this week.
Well, I'm going to go to the quarterback, too. You're talking about C.J. Stroud not throwing multiple touchdown passing games. This quarterback has not thrown a touchdown pass since week 6. They have thrown 126 passes without throwing a touchdown. They have 2 double-digit fantasy point games since week 6.
Don't say the name yet.
You
said it pre-show, I believe, but I just can't remember who this is. Hasn't had a passing touchdown in 126 passing attempts.
Yeah, been not since week 6.
And he is the starter.
He is the starter, has been the starter all year. He only has 2 double-digit fantasy point games since week 6 also.
Who is this?
Caleb Williams.
He's a rookie. Sounds about right. Yeah.
So the reason why I kind of threw him in there too is because I know like last game he had some good rushing yards. I think he had 70 yards on the ground. And I know that sometimes when you see a guy like that who has the potential to put up good fantasy numbers, passing and running, you kind of get a little like excited. And you're like, okay, you know, like this might be a guy. So, you know, he's coming around. He's adding the running game to it. New offensive coordinator, blah, 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 blah. I can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass since week 6. Like, what are we even doing? So it's kind of tough. And I'm sticking with the Chicago Bears.
On Caleb, real quick before you move on, it was an internal hire at offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Do you know who the new coordinator is off the top?
I do not know off the top of my head. I cannot remember his name.
I can't remember the last time a rookie quarterback had the coordinator switched in his rookie year. You remember when we thought that Caleb Williams was in an ideal situation to pretty much like not fail?
Yeah. Everybody was like, this is the best situation a rookie quarterback has ever had, were the words that came out of my mouth.
It has gone awful. You know, I heard people comparing that any running back could do what Saquon Barkley is doing in Philly because of DeAndre Swift and what he had done there, you know, last season and whatnot, and over 1,000 yards and all that. But DeAndre Swift I just don't think he can be a bell cow running back. And we overvalued all those Keenan Allen, all those moves are overvalued now. We should have just focused in on that offensive line and saved the money.
Definitely thought that it happens. You see all those names come in on paper. It don't matter what sport it is. You're like, oh man, this is a squad right here. It's
Yeah.
like the infamous Twitter thing where they put three people together. Who's stopping this
Who stop
offense?
it? This is the Eagles' dream team with Vince Young a little bit. That's what it
Oh
reminds me
wow,
of.
yeah.
And DJ Moore, I really like DJ Moore, but I think that he's better suited as a wide receiver too. That might sound crazy to a lot of people, but if you had like an AJ Brown in the building, DJ Moore would absolutely eat. But I understand why the Carolina Panthers were willing to trade a player like that because he just disappears sometimes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And, doubling down on this conversation is DeAndre Swift, who I am a big DeAndre Swift fan. You can call me a Swiftie, okay?
Yeah.
But, I think I understand what you're saying about bell cow. And I don't think he's had more than 16 carries in the game this year, if I'm not mistaken. And so last week, he's a little banged up. He's got a ankle and a groin injury. And last week we saw Roschon Johnson kind of come in and handle the sort of bell cow territory, bell cow style running. You know what I'm saying? And it ate into his snap share. I think he was at a 60% snap share, and I think he went down to like 44, between 44 and 50%. So not too drastic, but definitely drastic. And you're going up against Minnesota, who allows the fewest rushing yards per game in the NFL. They're only allowing 74.4 rushing yards per game.
That's impressive. That number
Yeah.
that the team rankings have changed there because I remember there were some other teams at the top of rushing defense a couple weeks back. That's impressive, man. Shout out Brian Flores.
Kansas City's up there. A couple others too. Baltimore, obviously.
Yeah,
is up
Baltimore
there
was
as
at number one for
and
a while.
I think Philly's up there too, if I'm not mistaken. So this last one might come to a shock. I know Awthentik gave y'all CJ Stroud. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna give y'all. He might snatch a chain, but he's gonna sit on the bench when he does it. This is Deebo Samuel. I'm sitting Deebo Samuel. Listen, it has been a tough year for the San Francisco 49ers. It's been a tough year for Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
You know how many receiving touchdowns Deebo Samuel has this year?
I'll say one.
One receiving touchdown all year.
Yeah.
You know how many 100-yard games he has this year?
One.
Two. I mean, he's getting paid the big bucks. It's kind of sketchy over there.
Look up some stuff here on Deebo real quick because I'm curious to see like how many 100-yard games
he has
in his career. Yeah.
I feel like he had a good amount, in the last couple
Definitely
of years.
a few.
Because, him and DK Metcalf and Terry McLaurin, they're all that same class, and they all got paid the big bucks. A.J. Brown, too, right? It was all that same year?
Yep.
So, and then you got the backup quarterback playing, and he's not really.
He's had a good chunk, though. He's had a good chunk, just not this season.
Yeah.
Shout out Stat
and Jawan Jennings, too. Yeah, big shout out to Ben in the chat. Jawan Jennings, we've been talking about him a lot lately. He seems to be the big target guy. It's going to be an interesting matchup for the San Francisco 49ers this week, going up against the Green Bay Packers without their starting quarterback. So big shout out to Marjorie dropping the inactives with the Marge bombs. As we knew, Brock Purdy's out, Pacheco's out, Devonta Smith is out, Jake Ferguson is out. Malik Neighbors will play. I also believe that I saw Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift are both active as well. So.
And Mike Evans.
Now back to some of these lovely questions that the chat has provided and would like to answer before we move into the sleeper section and then pick every single game on the slate. Big shout out to Hyphen Wade with the $1.99 super chat. Justin Herbert or Kyler Murray? That's an interesting one.
Herbert's played good ball.
Yeah. Ravens, Chargers. Ravens secondary, very bad. Pass defense, very bad. Kyler Murray.
Give me Herbert.
Herbert?
Yeah, give me Herbert.
I'm gonna double down with Herbert as well. This is a tough one though, so I see why you're stumped. Kyler Murray's been playing lights out ball lately. They're in first place. Kyler Murray kind of gives you that ability to run. Justin Herbert had some good rushing yards though, as of late, to kind of give you a few little bonus points here and there. But I like Justin Herbert not turning the ball over. Big game against the Ravens. They're probably going to have to score more points than they usually have been this season. I think Justin Herbert might have one of his better games this week against the Baltimore Ravens. Big shout out to H.U. Potter
Sac passe.
says Lions, Chiefs, Bucks, Eagles, or Commanders for his defense.
I'd go Bucks. You said or Commanders. I don't see that.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I definitely didn't see that. Commanders, I'd go Commanders or I'd go Bucks. Dallas Cowboys, that offense cannot move the ball. It's CeeDee Lamb or nothing. That's really it. So I'd go Commanders for a week probably, or go Bucks versus the Giants. I mean, Tommy DeVito at quarterback. I mean, there's a chance that Tommy DeVito could go out there and put up some points, but there's also the chance you get that like game we saw with Tommy DeVito against the Jets, where you got negative net passing yards. So one of those two for me.
I'm right there with you. I am playing the Bucks and the Commanders defenses across many leagues this week. I think those are probably your best matchups. Kansas City's defense is good, but they always seem to find a way to like give up some points randomly and late. And Chuba Hubbard. We talked about Kansas City's rush defense. Chuba Hubbard might give you a couple of points here and there. And the Eagles, I think, their defense has been playing lights out, but the Rams have a really good offense, and the Lions are playing the Colts. The Lions have been shutting people out, but they've also been playing some bad opponents. I think the Colts will find a way to put some points up.
I like the Kansas City maybe for a stash, though. Just looking at their next couple of games, they got Panthers and Raiders back to back.
That could be clutch.
Yeah, and then they get Chargers, Browns.
And the Commanders get Titans next week? It's pretty bad offense. So both of those teams are kind of good. You take a look at Tampa Bay, who their next opponent is. That might sway you a little bit.
The Bucks 3 games coming up are absolute garbage.
Cupcakes too, right?
Yeah, it's Giants, Panthers, Raiders, or Giants, Raiders, Panthers. One of those 3. So yeah, definitely think about a stash there, man. One of those defenses might help you out here.
Big shout out to Ray W. Says pick 2 Superflex League. Pick 2 quarterbacks: Mahomes, Knicks, or Daniels.
This hurts, man. This hurts. Can't even
say
what I want to say out loud.
Why not?
Because am I really going to take 2 rookie quarterbacks over Patrick Mahomes?
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not doing that. What's Jaden Daniels' fantasy numbers been like the last couple of weeks? Not all that great.
Horrible. He's going up against the Cowboys.
Give me Bo Nix and Patrick Mahomes. You said the game plan was to run the ball.
I did. Listen, I don't think you can go wrong here anyway. The Denver matchup is not easy this week, though, right?
Broncos play the Raiders.
Raiders. Oh, Jesus. Give me Bo Nix and Patrick Mahomes. But I wouldn't be mad at you if you bench Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't be mad at you. Big shout out to we talked about Duffel Bag Doug already. Steven, good morning, my friend. Many bye weeks, yes. And soft start by Pickens for me. Looking for advice on 2 flex and 1 tight end, full PPR. Jennings, McConkey, Downs, Dottle, Disley, Jonu. Oof.
Okay.
It's kind of easy.
Disley had a big game after we talked about them 2 weeks ago. He did have a big game.
So did Jonu Smith.
Yeah, Jonu's been pretty damn consistent this year. Rico Dowdle? Ooh.
I know Washington's defense is a little, rush defense is a little sketch, but
let's start with tight end. What are you doing with Disley or Jonu?
I'm going Jonu.
I'm going Jonu as well. So we're set there. We're going to go Jonu with tight end. And then 2 flex spots. Damn. I like Lad McConkey. Give me Lad McConkey in one of the flex spots. Damn, bro. Jennings, no quarterback. Are we going to go Downs over Jennings because of the quarterback?
That's pretty much what we're looking at. We're choosing between, because I like McConkey as well. So we're choosing between Downs and Jennings.
Yeah. Let's go Downs.
So we're going to go Downs, McConkey for your 2 flex, and then your tight end is going to be Jonu. Jonu versus Hunter question. Henry.
That's an authentic Sunday morning fantasy football type of decision right there. I'll be like, man, who am I going to start out of these guys?
Big shout out to Bromo. Says, what up? PPR, 2 running backs. He's got Gibbs, Pollard, Dobbins, Tracy. Let's just start with that.
Yeah, so 2 running backs in PPR. Damn, I want to find a way to weasel Tyrone Tracy into this. Tyrone Tracy, anytime he pretty much gets the touches, he's getting the yards.
Yeah, he's been
and he'll get in the end zone. But I do like Jahmyr Gibbs too, though, man.
So we go Gibbs and Tracy. I don't really have any interest in playing Tony Pollard.
No J.K. Dobbins, though?
I thought about J.K. Dobbins. I have J.K. Dobbins on 2 teams. The Ravens' defense is good, man. And Gus Edwards has kind of been eating up a little bit. Oh, no, we got to go J.K. Dobbins. Revenge game. You got to go Dobbins. You got to go Dobbins. Dobbins and Gibbs.
Dobbins and Gibbs. I think that's the
I like
play.
Tracy, though. I totally agree with you. If you can find a way, I think Tracy has a game.
Well, he
today.
does. What's the next question? Is flex, right?
2 wide receivers, A.J. Brown and McLaurin, Neighbors, and Debo.
And 1 flex. Let's put Tracy in the flex, go with Dobbins and Gibbs at the running back position, and then we need 2 wide receivers. I mean,
A.J. Brown and McLaurin?
Absolutely A.J. Brown. Malik Neighbors is a tough one because you got DeVito at quarterback.
And he's coming up a little banged up.
What is Neighbors' injury right now?
Hamstring?
Is he dealing with hamstring?
Something hamstring, shoulder.
He's out there. I'm okay with Neighbors, and Neighbors is good at the short stuff. He can find ways to get open for Tommy DeVito to throw him little baby routes, quick slants, outs, comeback, stuff like that. I'm leaning towards Neighbors more than I am Terry McLaurin.
So, okay, this is where we're at then. Let's say that we do this. Say we go Gibbs and Dobbins in the 2 running backs. We go A.J. Brown and McLaurin in the 2 wide receivers. Now, are you putting Malik Neighbors or Tyrone Tracy in your flex?
Nah. Like, for me, Tracy got to be in the flex.
Okay.
Because if I'm picking between Tracy and Neighbors, I'm going Tracy all day because the potential to get in the end zone is higher for Tyrone Tracy.
So then we're going Neighbors or McLaurin, basically, is where we're at.
Exactly. Or Debo. I mean, but another one dealing with a new quarterback. In Dallas, no Trayvon Diggs today.
Yeah.
Well, what's the status on Deron Bland? He didn't come back last week. I'll go McLaurin.
That's an interesting
McLaurin
question.
is just such a big play type of guy. Like, Neighbors would get you the 6 for 70.
Yeah.
It's just a touchdown. Nah, man. I'm going Neighbors, bro.
Going Neighbors?
Yeah, I'm going Neighbors.
I'm not mad at you for that.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Anthony. Says first listener over here. What's up, guys?
What's going on, Anthony? Hope all is well on this Sunday morning.
Welcome to the party, my friend. All right,
Yes,
without
sir.
further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and give you guys and gals some nice little sleepers here that's going to just throw a wrench in everything else that we talked about so far today. So these are our Week 12 sleepers here on the Parlay.
Quick update real quick. Shout out to my dog, Mike C, one time. He said the weather in New York today is a lot of wind. Expect a lot of running and a low-scoring game. So maybe that does make me lean towards Terry McLaurin a little bit.
Charles Barkley wants to know if Jalen Hyatt is starting today.
I would doubt that. I mean, Darius Slayton is still healthy, right?
Yeah, Slayton's
Yeah, I would
healthy.
doubt it. He's probably going to get some reps, though. I'd imagine he gets some reps because Brian Dable did say in the press conference that they're going to be evaluating a lot of this young talent, and that Daniel Jones wasn't the only guy that was going to be on the bench. They're going to be moving some people around.
Yeah. So sleeper section. Go ahead and take the wheel on this one.
Okay.
Start off with my guy. You haven't heard this name in a long time, probably. Amir Abdullah.
Mm-hmm. It's been a grip.
No Zamir White. No Alexander Madison. And even though he's been like this RB3, over there, he's had at least 3 catches out of the backfield in 4 games this year. So, he can give you a little bit of the running game and the receiving game. He's averaging 4.8 yards per carry. I know the Raiders stink, but in a situation like somebody was talking about, they got 5 people on a bye week. Abdullah is a guy you can kind of slide in, and he's going to give you RB1, volume out of nowhere. So it's kind of good timing for somebody who really needed some help. Up next, I'm going to go Jatavian Sanders, tight end for the Carolina Panthers. Rookie has been playing very well, especially as of late. Kansas City Chiefs are 3rd worst in the league versus tight ends. And in the last 5 games, he's averaged at least 4 targets at least 42.5 yards receiving, and at least 9 fantasy points. He has 4 top 15 tight end finishes in fantasy points in the last 6 games. So he's definitely, he's getting better and better, and I think that they're finding a way to use him in this offense. So I really like Jatavion Sanders, especially in a week where you're going to see a lot of tight ends on buys. And then the last guy is going to be a guy that Awthentik is probably going to talk about too. This is Nick Westbrook
Akine.
Yes. And from now on, moving forward for the rest of our careers as Awthentik in the Beard, I'm just going to point to Awthentik when there's a word or a last name that I'm probably going to butcher. Ubiquitously.
Ubiquitously.
He is averaging 4.6 targets over the last 5 weeks. He has 5 touchdowns in 6 games. In his last 6 games, he has 5 touchdowns. He has double-digit fantasy points in 3 of the last 5. And look, the matchup, Houston is tied for the second most passing touchdowns allowed in the NFL this year, allowing 22 passing touchdowns this year. So those are my 3 sleepers for this week.
Yeah, like Westbrook Akine as well. 98-yard touchdown last week. 6 targets last week. He's definitely been getting more volume since they traded DeAndre Hopkins over to the Kansas City Chiefs. Over 16 fantasy points in 2 of his last 3, and he's been playing 94% of the snaps since the trade with DeAndre Hopkins. So I think he's a guy. I scooped him up in our league. He was just sitting out there on waivers. I was like, let me scoop him up. Definitely a fan. It's just quarterback plays. Probably be the one thing that could hold him back. And I'm doubling down on this one from last week. Bo Nix, man. Bo Nix, I talked about him being a sleeper on last week's show. He went out there, he put up 4 touchdowns, has 5 games with multiple touchdown passes. I would love to see the record for a rookie quarterback. How many games with multiple touchdown passes for a rookie? It's tied for most in the NFL right now with Bo Nix, with 5 games with multiple touchdown passes. So definitely a guy to keep your eyes on going up against the Raiders. I mean, this should be a layup for him as long as they're not running the clock out in the second half. I think Bo Nix has another impressive performance this week.
I'll tell you, after last week, I put out a tweet and I said, Bo Nix might have played himself. Listen to the key words here. I said, Bo Nix might have played himself into the driver's seat for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
My Commanders fans came for my head. I'm like, dude, and I ended the tweet by saying, and Commanders fans shouldn't care, right? Like, Jaden Daniels
I think you kind of messed up there because they gonna care, right?
Well, Jaden
got
Daniels
their rookie out there.
He's gonna be a guy, and he's gonna be there at the end of the season, probably when it comes to the Rookie of the Year votes. But just because Bo Nix is playing fantastic football the last couple of weeks, and you're just gonna dismiss everything Jaden Daniels did in the beginning of the season? No, but this is how this works. The league is a "what have you done for me lately" sort of situation. I know that Jaden Daniels is still the odds-on favorite, but those odds are coming down rapidly, especially with Bo Nix's play over the last couple of weeks.
Bo Nix has had, a very comparable type of year. He's putting up numbers, and I think the people that are coming for you, that they're casuals. That's the casuals coming for you. Like, oh, no, I've watched every Commanders game. Jaden Daniels is doing this, that, and the third. They're not watching the Denver Broncos because Bo Nix has been playing some really good football.
Yeah, and then he really had a good game last week. And he's getting the thing about Bo Nix, too, is he's getting better. Yeah. You see this a lot sometimes with rookies where it's the opposite of that, where they start out really hot and then they just kind of go down, decline, especially after week 8, week 9. He seems to have been getting better progressively since the beginning of the year. Because in the beginning of the year, there was a couple of those games where you were just like, oh, God, Bo Nix.
Yeah, the first 2 games where he didn't have no passing touchdowns, I believe, and he was throwing interceptions. It was concerning. Definitely was. So don't forget about Brian Robinson, too, man, going up against Dallas this week. I think that's another – not necessarily a sleeper, but a guy that I think is going to have a really big game. Joe Mixon had 3 touchdowns last week against that defense. And I think if anybody, maybe has to take a back seat to playing a bad team like the Dallas Cowboys, it'll be Terry McLaurin, and Brian Robinson will probably eat.
I'll give you another one for this game. This is a guy who's not like a normal guy. Who do you think I'm talking about?
In the Dallas Commanders game? Let's go with either Zacchaeus or Rodriguez.
Rodriguez got cut, by the way.
They cut him? Dang. Well, they ain't going to be him. He going to be sleeping on his couch for a little bit here. Sheesh.
I'm going to go with Schoonmaker, man.
Okay.
backup tight end, no Jake Ferguson. I think Schoonmaker had
It's
12.
Shoemaker, but I got you.
Is it Schoonmaker?
The C is silent. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like Schultz. Schultz.
Well, in D.C., we pronounce silent C, so we're going to go
That's some
Schoonmaker.
bullshit if I ever heard it.
Yeah, Schoonmaker had 12 targets last week, I think. It was something obscene like that. So,
Oh, that's what's up.
I like the maker to make some Schoons in this game. So keep your eye out on the Schoon Master, Mix Master Schoon. You never know what could happen when you have Cooper Rush playing quarterback. So those are our sleepers for week 12. Now, it is time, ladies and gentlemen.
Right now, before we move off the Dallas and the Commanders game, it looks like right now, like you're in Jerry World and you need one of them shades right now. That sun is beaming on you right now. Yeah, that's the when God said, "Let there be light," sun, right there.
Here we go. Yeah, it looks. And then I just got you.
No, it's not helping the sun. Yeah, you got.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and rock and roll with some rapid fire. We're gonna pick each and every single game, the overs, the unders, and the spreads. I could use a good cheese and meat spread. Some salami and some prosciutto, some hamon, some brie cheese, stuff like that, man. Listen,
okay, them funky cheeses.
I don't do blue cheese, though.
I don't do blue cheese either.
I do a lot of crazy stuff. I just cannot come to eat the blue. Can't do the blue.
Well, I can do the blue, but it's not when it comes to the cheese department.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense. Go Giants. Tommy
Giants.
DeVito. I'm putting together a Tommy DeVito lineup today. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to throw one out there. Just throw a Hail Mary.
I hope that goes well. I'm not mad at Tommy DeVito, man. Go out there, get your money, man. Try to get some wins. I'm not, one of those people that's going to blame Tommy DeVito 2 years in a row. I blamed him last year. I'm not going to blame him 2 years in a row for the draft picks. Can't do that.
Yeah, I can't blame Tommy. You just listen. You got to blame Joe.
Yeah.
Got to blame Joe.
Got to blame John.
Oh. How's that where we're going with this? Okay. All right. First game of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be your Albert Einstein Titans. They are 2-8. They are headed to H-Town to face Texans, who are 7-4. Texans are 7.5-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 40.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
Easy. Let's lean into the name of rapid fire here. I'm going Houston Texans. They'll cover the 7.5. I'm going to take under the 40.5.
I will take Houston as well. I will take Houston to cover the 7.5. I'm going to go under 40.5 as well. Up next, the Minnesota Vikings. They are 8-2. They are 3.5-point favorites. They are headed to Chicago to face the no passing touchdown Caleb Williams Bears. They are 4-6. The over-under in this game is a pretty disgusting 39.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will take the Vikings. The Vikings minus the 3.5. I'm going to take the under 39.5 as well.
Right there with you. Let's keep it going. I do think Caleb Williams does get in the end zone today, though.
Oh, interesting. Up next, it is the Dallas Schoonmakers, who are 3-7. They are headed to Northwest, not D.C., but Field in Landover to face the Commanders, who are 7-4, who will be honoring legend Robert Griffin III at this game today. They are 10.5-point favorites. Wow. The over-under in this game is 44.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I'll take the Commanders. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to cover the 10.5. I don't know. I just see a sloppy game here. The Commanders' offense has not been that great at home. Just 2 passing touchdowns for Jaden Daniels at home. I like the Cowboys to cover the 10.5. I'm going to take the under 44.5.
I'm going all in on this game. Give me the Commanders. The Commanders will cover 10.5, and I'm going to take the over. I think the Commanders might get close to 44.5 points by themselves. So hopefully that's I expect the Commanders to score on every possession this game. They should. I expect them to. Up next, the New England Patriots. They are 3-8. They are headed to South Beach, South Beach, to face the Dolphins, who are 4-6. The Dolphins are 7.5-point favorites. Over under in this game is 46.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this game. I will take the Patriots to cover 7.5, though. That seems a little much for my liking. And they're going to cover it. The Patriots are always scoring touchdowns with like 3 minutes left in the game when they're down by 2 touchdowns. So I think New England backdoor covers. I like Miami to win, though. I'm going to take the over 46.5.
I like it. I'm locked in with you on this one. We can keep pushing.
Up next, the Kansas City Chiefs. They are 9-1. They are also 10.5-point favorites. They are headed to Carolina to face the Panthers, who are 3-7. The over-under in this game is 43.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
Like the Chiefs to improve to 10-1. I do think they're going to cover the 10.5, and I'll take the over 43.5.
I absolutely refuse to take Kansas City to cover any spread that is double digits. They never do it. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this game, Carolina to cover the 10.5, and I'm going to take the over 43.5 in this game. Up next, it is the Tampa Baker Buccaneers. They are headed up to New York to face Tommy DeVito and the 2-8 Sopranos. The over-under in this game is 40.5. Tampa Bay is favored by 5.5. Give me Tampa Bay to cover, and give me the over 40.5.
Right there with you. Not too much to talk about. I'm crossing my fingers that Tommy DeVito goes out here and plays his best football. I want to see that the New York Giants offense operates a little bit differently with another quarterback under center. We shall see today.
Up next, the Detroit Lions. They are also 9-1. They are 7.5-point favorites. They are headed to Indianapolis to face the Colts, who are 5-6. Over under in this game, 50.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
50.5 sounds a little bit like too many points. I'm going to take the under in this one. I'll take the Detroit Lions to win it. I'll be rooting for the Colts. I'm rooting for Anthony Richardson to go out there and get back on track again like he did last week as well, and, start maturing into a true NFL quarterback after being benched for Joe Flacco. But I do think the Lions are going to cover this one. I think the Lions are going to win this one as well. But give me the under 50.5.
Listen, the Lions are the complete opposite of the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to these spreads. They always seem to cover these large spreads, and this is not even that large. I'm going to take the Lions to win, Lions to cover. Give me the over 50.5. I think Anthony Richardson finds a way to put some points up in this game at some point, maybe late in the game. So I do think we get over 50.5 in this matchup. Up next, it is the Denver Bo Nixes. They are 6-5. They are 5.5-point favorites, and they are in Vegas to face the Raiders, who are 2-8. Over under in this game is 41.5. Kickoff is at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos to win, Broncos to cover. I'm going to take the under 41.5 in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under. I'm locked in with you on this one. I think the Broncos are probably the most surprising team in the NFL this season. 6-5, that's impressive. People thought they were going to be headed for another first pick.
Speaking of surprises, how about this next game? The first place Arizona Cardinals.
3 weeks in a row now.
Now, listen, Kyler Murray might slip in backdoor into some MVP conversations. I'm just putting that seed out there right now. They are 6-4. They are headed to Seattle to face the Seahawks, who are 5-5. An interesting game. Everybody in that division is within like 2 games. Mm-hmm. The Seahawks are actually favored. 1.5 points. Over under is 47.5. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I'm going to go with the upset here, man. Well, not necessarily on the Vegas numbers here, but I would think that everybody thinks Arizona's a better team. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. I think they'll cover the 1.5. I'm going over the 47.5. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. This is one of those season-defining type games for the Seahawks, who started off really well, beat 3 bad teams, then kind of fell into a funk with 3 straight losses in a row. Now they're kind of getting back on track. I'd look for Geno to have a pretty big game here. This is a good rivalry type of game. This is a new rivalry type of game. I'm taking the Seahawks.
I like where you're going with this, but I'm gonna ride the magic carpet a little bit longer. Give me the Arizona Cardinals to win this game outright. I am going to take the over 47.5, though. I do agree with you. I think this is actually going to be a pretty fun game to watch. I believe so. So that's where I'm at with that one. Up next, the San Francisco 55ers. They are 5-5. They're headed to Lambeau to face Awthentik and the Green Bay Packers, who are 7-3. They are 5.5-point favorites. Over under in this game is 44.5. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give me the Green Bay Packers. Give me the Green Bay Packers to cover the spread. Give me Xavier McKinney anytime interception in this game as well. And I'm going to take the under 44.5.
I like it. I like the under 44.5. Give me the Green Bay Packers as well. And yeah, I think they'll cover that 5.5. No Brock Purdy's going to hurt the 49ers today.
Xavier McKinney, anytime interception?
Sure. Why not?
Double down. And the nightcap, the Philadelphia Eagles are 8-2. They are only 2.5-point favorites. I know they're on the road. LA Rams, they're also 5-5. My God, this division. So there is a possibility if the Rams win, the 49ers win, and the Seahawks win, every single team in that division will be 6-5.
Crazy. Let's cross our fingers that happens.
The over-under in this game is going to be 48.5. Kickoff is at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
You would kick this one to me first here. This is a tough game because the Eagles have played a bunch of games, won a bunch of games here in the past 6 weeks, but not up against really good competition. You saw a fairly close game against the Commanders. I think the Rams are in that kind of ballpark as far as the type of team that they are. I'm going to stick with the Eagles, man. I'm going to stick with the Eagles to go 7 straight wins. Oh, my God, that don't even sound right. I'm going to go over 48.5 in this one. I think the Eagles cover the 2.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We both wanted to pick the Rams when we talked about this game on Thursday. If you guys haven't seen that, you can go back and watch our pregame previews for every single NFC East matchup. That is here on the YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure.
What were the scores?
I had 27-24 Philly. You had 27-20 Philly.
Ooh, so I'm right under.
Yeah.
Let's stick with the vibes. I'm going to take the under then. Just under 1.5. Yeah, I'm going to take the under. Everything else remains.
Yep. So I take Philly to cover, and I will take the over 48.5. In the last game of the week, a good one. A couple of good games to throw us into this Thanksgiving week. It's going to be the Baltimore Ravens. They are 7-4, 2.5-point favorites. They are headed to LA to face the Chargers, who are 7-3. The over-under in that game is 50.5. Kickoff is 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday night.
What a game.
I want to take the Chargers. I so bad. But I can't.
I wonder how many times we've picked against the Ravens this year.
It's probably not a lot.
It's probably none, right?
I can't. I don't. I think if I totally forgot to check this, but I'm pretty sure Baltimore has won after every single game they've lost this year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they've lost back-to-back games this year.
Except the beginning, because remember they started out 0-2.
0-2, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Ravens to win. I'm going to take the Ravens to cover. I think it's a 3-point game, and I'm going to take the under 50.5. I just don't know how. I thought about taking the over, but I don't see it. I think we're looking at like a 24-21 sort of game here.
So you're going under.
Under.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, to get to 50, we're talking like 30, 20-ish. I can't see that. Can't see it. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens. I will say this. I think this is going to be, when we look back at the rest of the 2024 season, this will be the week that had the best primetime games of the entire year. Love that Eagles matchup against the Rams. Love this matchup with the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Chargers. The Thursday night game, I did say that the Browns would cover. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember.
I didn't pick them to win, though, so let me not toot my horn too much here. But I do think when we look back at it, these will be the best 3 primetime games of the year. Give me the Ravens, though, to win this one.
And ladies and gentlemen, that rounds out this week's edition of Rapid Fire. We appreciate you guys for chiming in with all of your picks in the chat. Big shout out to Gregory once again. Absolutely fantastic work on providing us with our totals at the end on the parlay.
Did you take a peek at, did he do them for last week?
I think he did, yeah.
You remember how I was looking?
You've been bad all season, to be perfectly honest with you.
Bullshit.
No. I'm just busting your chops here. I will tell you right now. Here we go. He said he missed a couple of games, but he said there's a flag on the field. Beard got wrapped up in Awthentik's statement about changing the Patriots uniform and the different color schemes teams had. Beard forgot to make a pick on the Rams-Patriots game. So Beard will lose the win-loss point and the under-over point. Last week, Awthentik picking wins and losses. You were 6-7. I was 9-4. Gregory was 9-4.
That must have caught you up a little bit there. I would imagine I was about 3-4 games ahead of you.
Over under, we were brutal last week. You were 3-10.
Sheesh.
I was 4-9. Gregory was 9-4. So
we need to hire Gregory up here, man. Maybe make a little third box over here for Gregory because man, we've been kind of loafing here.
But yeah, that's it. And listen, there is no better way to end a show and go into
the
some
Tommy
gabagool
DeVito.
than having our guy, your guy, everybody's guy stop by. Big shout out to Tuto. Put a $4.99 super chat. Says love and respects to Awthentik and the Beard. Nuggets Jewel Master. And World Road Maps Prime Minister. God, I love it, Tudo.
Yeah, that was good.
And all diehard Giants fans across the pond. And please slap all stinky boys losers. Pew, pew. Big shout out, Tudo. We appreciate it.
Big shout out to Tudo. Absolutely, man. Hope all is well with my dog. Good to see my dog Tudo back in the building, man. It's been a while, bro.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Tudo. All right,
yo,
ladies and
have you
gentlemen.
have you seen this yet? This dude who this is like an Italian dude, and they said this is gonna be all Giants fans now that Tommy DeVito's getting a start. Have you seen this guy yet?
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
This is my part right here.
The
gun. This part right here. Look.
Hey, I'm walking here.
He's like got the gun behind his back. Hey, I love that right there.
Pull out your velour sweatsuits, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Doom with the $1.99 super chat. If you're not having fun, then what are you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Facts. Tommy DeVito's going to make today fun. That's for damn sure. It won't be bland. It's going to have a little flavor to it.
So, yeah, we're adding a little bit of oregano and parsley to the cutlet.
Absolutely. Meatballs, pasta, all that. All of that, dog.
Throw
I'm
some
ready.
hot sauce on it.
Yeah, shout out my dog Tro, man. Shout out my dog Tro and all my Italians out there representing for Tommy DeVito today.
Oh, man. We have come to this place in the season.
Full circle, bro.
You just never know what's going to happen, man. We appreciate every one of you guys for joining us. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter at Awthentik, at Tim Walk on Water 2, where you can find all of the upcoming and what's going on events as far as where you can find us next. Awthentik, you got Bleacher Report today after the game?
I sure do. About 4:15, we'll be on Bleacher Report recapping this matchup against the Bucks. Should be a good time. Pull up if you want to talk some New York Giants football a little bit later.
Yep. So without further ado, I will let Awthentik do the do.
Do the do, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound, and a life without dreams is a life in black and white, man. Go Giants today. Hope this goes well. Big shout out to the podcast GOAT, and rest in peace to him as well, Mr. Combat Jack himself. And that's a wrap, y'all. We appreciate y'all being here. Hopefully our picks go well, and best of luck in your fantasy football today. And best of luck to your Commanders. Best of luck to our New York Giants, which it's a win-win situation today. Either Tommy DeVito goes out here and just does what he does, or the New York Giants get closer to the number 1 draft pick in the NFL. We'll catch y'all on the flip side. Make sure you pull up on Monday for the Giant overreaction, and then on Tuesday for the Week 12 recap. Should be a good time, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all football Sunday. It's been a wrap. And it's been a pleasure chopping up my dude here, man, the beard here one time. We'll see. We need to tally up those numbers, see where we land here at the end of the season. Yeah, we need to see where that lands. Y'all enjoy y'all football, man. Y'all be good. Peace.
Spike, don't care.